Joining us this week, we have 15-year-old from Fort Valley, Georgia, Hudson Bulger, who is part of the Team Hornaday development crew. Ron Hornaday, his daughter Candace Hornaday, Austin Terrio, Amy Stein, and Taylor Kitchens. Hudson is competing in the Pro Late Model division as well as the Legend Cars. Hudson, it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
No problem. Good to have you. So let's jump right into things. Tell us a little bit about how you've gotten your start in racing and, what the experience like.
So pretty much started out racing about 3 years ago. Up at the dealership my dad owns, Byron Outdoor Superstore. Somebody just and wanted to trade a Legend car. And I've always kind of wanted to race something, wanted to race motocross for a long time, but my dad wanted me to put me in something with a roll cage, so we just tried that out and just kind of went from there, had a lot of fun in it. And then I think we ran that for about a year, and then we started taking it a little bit more seriously. Moved over with Chris Dilbeck and Brett Reagan, and they started helping us. And then that's whenever we started talking about all the late model stuff. And then just kind of went from there. Last year, I think we attended pretty much all the races in Georgia. So now we're here.
So, Hudson, what's the plans this year? What tracks are you planning on hitting? What series you're running? How often you go out on the track? It sounds like you're still in high school, so how's that work? How are you getting your schoolwork done and worrying about racing at the same time?
So that was really tough this year, and we just kind of came to the conclusion that, the school been saying stuff. Always having to miss Fridays, Thursdays for Thursday Thunder. That's coming up in a little bit here. And so this year I decided to join the Speed U University, which is they're new. It's a school for racing. I think they're in Griffin, Georgia. And so it's pretty much homeschool, I think every day but Friday, just because I guess they figure that you're at the racetrack. So that should loosen up our schedule a lot. But I try to race just about every weekend as much as I can, whether it's the late model or Legend car.
Cool. What's it been like learning from guys like Ron Hornaday and Austin Terrio?
I think definitely with me not having pavement racing background before I started Legend cars, it definitely has helped me, move along a lot quicker than I would have if I would have been trying to figure out on my own. Definitely more experience with iRacing, with iRacing and stuff, and I just think that it's kind of moved me along a lot quicker than it would if I was trying to do it on my own. So it definitely helps there.
Cool.
So I'm a tech guy. Can you talk to me a little bit about the iRacing stuff? I hear this all the time about the professional drivers, the NASCAR drivers, the Cup Series drivers, talking about how iRacing has completely changed the way that they prepare for races. What's it like for you coming up as a young driver? How do you use the iRacing stuff? And, for the listeners out there who don't know exactly what it is, can you explain to them what it is?
So pretty much it's I wouldn't call it a video game, but it is a game that you got on the computer. You get the steering wheel, pedals, all that. And, it's not nothing. You don't just go in there and mess around. There's, races. You got, a rank. You can get ranked or whatever, run official races and stuff. And I'm not super familiar with it. I just started it not too long ago. Just started really getting into it. And, it helps a lot. If we're going to a track somewhere that I've never been before, and you can go in there and test a late model, Legend car, whatever it is, and you can test it on that track. And it's pretty close to, in real life, how the car feels, how it handles. Just try to kind of get used to the track before you go there. And I've kind of used it for a little bit of racecraft stuff, like how to set up passing, just so you're not spending so many laps so long testing. I feel like being able to do it at your house, definitely, it helps a lot there.
So talk to us a little bit. We mentioned, obviously, you're under the Team Hornaday development umbrella, but talk to us about some racers that you've looked up to and, who have kind of inspired you to get behind the wheel.
So, I don't know. I don't really have a favorite, but Kyle Larson's definitely up there just because he can, all the different stuff that he can get in and be competitive Just being able to win at the dirt track, whatever it is, I feel like he's always very competitive in whatever he gets in. And that's just kind of inspired me to, just push myself to be as competitive as I can in whatever I drive. Whether it be on dirt, asphalt, road course, whatever it is, just try to be as competitive as I can.
So do you guys race both on asphalt and on dirt in the Legend Series, or how's that work?
No, I was supposed to, I think it was last year at Sonora Raceway. I was supposed to run the little bit on dirt Legends, but I got COVID that week, and it just never really happened. But I definitely want to try to run a little bit dirt late model stuff this year. Don't really know when that would be happening, but I just want to, just feel something different besides just asphalt.
So you mostly race on asphalt?
Yes, sir. Mostly just circle track stuff. I've done a little bit of road course stuff in Virginia, but that's about it.
So talk to us a little bit about maybe some of your short-term goals right now, whether it be this season or, whatever it is, the next year or so.
I'd like to get – so we're kind of more focused on late model, definitely. I'd just like to hopefully get my first win this year in that. I've ran 2 races so far, so just try to get my first win. I'd like to run at the Snowflake at the end of the year, and then just going into next year, run, Speed Week, Speed Fest, all that stuff, and then hopefully get into a Super eventually, start testing that. And that's pretty much my short term over the next year or so.
How about a long-term goal?
Well, I'd like to eventually end up in NASCAR somewhere. I think that'd be my best long term, and just kind of push myself to whatever it is that I get in, drive, whatever I'm racing that weekend, to be competitive running up front. I think is my long term goal.
Excellent.
Yeah, so I mean, how do you plan on working your way through the series? You say that you want to end up in NASCAR. What's the game plan on how you're going to progress through?
So, for what I'm running is, so I want to go Legends, and then I'm going to go hopefully Pro Late Model to Super Late Model, maybe ARCA, but preferably Pro, Super, then straight to Truck, and then Xfinity, and then hopefully NASCAR.
There you go. Hudson Bulger is our guest here, 15-year-old from Fort Valley, Georgia, joining us here. Our first of a slew of Team Hornaday drivers we've got coming up on the show over the next couple of weeks. So maybe before we kind of start to wrap this up, maybe a quick fun story, from the racetrack, whether it be this season or in your time, that the listeners could appreciate.
Yeah. So, there's always stuff happening at the racetrack. Probably, let's see. I don't know. There's a lot of them.
We ask the hard-hitting questions here, Hudson. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but figured it'd be a good one.
Yeah, a lot of drama goes down. This story, gosh, I don't know. One of my favorite moments at the racetrack was definitely my first win and my first late model race were pretty big. And, just being able to finish my first late model race without wrecking, staying on the lead lap and everything, I feel like it was a pretty good accomplishment. There's a lot of drama that happens at the racetrack. We're luckily stay out of most of it. I don't think we've ever really no one's ever, fought or anything. We try to, stay away from all that kind of stuff, just stay out of drama and trouble and everything. I think that's the best we can do. But
that's half the battle right there.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
You kind of the final 2 questions we always like to ask. First off, tell us about any sponsors or folks that are helping you kind of pursue and run this season that you might have on the car, or maybe their family members. Talk to us about them.
Yeah, so family-owned dealership, Byron Outdoor Superstore. They definitely help us a lot with everything we do, expense-wise. And then Can-Am, BRP, which, all your ATVs, side-by-side, stuff like that. So we bring four-wheelers to the track, and they're all Can-Am. Just to push the car around and stuff. And then Moore's Bank for all of our banking stuff. Antler Extreme, their deer growth feed that you can feed deer. And then Cirque Motorsports radiators, and pretty much just whole crew, Brett Reagan, Chris Dilbeck, and definitely Team Hornaday Development. I feel like everybody kind of helps us get to the race. It's a very expensive sport, so definitely need that.
Excellent. It was, I haven't seen him in years until just last week at North Wilkesboro, but it was great to see Ron at the racetrack last week. Last time I saw him was probably, it would be before you were born. I saw him at Loudon, New Hampshire in 2001 at one of the souvenir haulers signing autographs when I was younger than you were. So great to see Ron around, and Ron and Austin doing a heck of a job with Team Hornaday Development. So if anybody wants to learn more about your career, where can they find your, on social media channels, anything like that?
Yeah, so pretty much all of it is just Hudson Bulger Racing on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We got a little bit of series going there. We try to, upload stuff as much as possible, give you updates throughout all of race day or week, whatever it is. But that's, y'all can find me there. And we have a website. It's just HudsonBulgerRacing.com.
Excellent. All right. So how about any thoughts in closing, anything that we might have missed or anything you want to let the listeners know about? We'll give you that opportunity.
No, I'd just like to thank you for having me on here tonight. I appreciate your time.
We appreciate your time, and we'll get this right out on YouTube this week. Probably be awesome to kind of spotlight you, and so we appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon, and hope to see you at the racetrack.
Yes, sir. You too.
Appreciate the time. Hudson Bulger, our guest here in the In the Turn interview tonight.